Welcome back to my new video lecture. Myself Professor Pinkesh J. Patel from the Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Technical Education and Research Center, Navsari. The journey of this college started in the field of engineering and technology as per the guideline of AICTE, that is the All India Council for Technical Education, New Delhi in 2004, and MGTER is approved by AICTE, that is the New Delhi, and affiliated to GTU, that is the Gujarat Technological University, Ahmedabad. This institute is located at South Gujarat in peaceful and pollution-free environment of the western region of the country. The MGTER aims to provide value-based education. The motive behind to provide quality technical education at people's doorstep at an affordable cost. Not only studious activities, but there are many extracurriculum activities like state level tech fairs, different sports activities and cultural activity held during the year at MGTER for the overall improvement of the student. So today I will start with the subject of interconnected power system, having a subject code of 2170901 BE 4th year 7th semester. So already we have started with the chapter number 3, that is the load flow studies. So this is the flow of the contents: introduction, static load flow equation, bus classification, approximate method, Gauss-Seidel method, Newton-Raphson method, fast decoupled load flow method, comparison of different methods, and last one, that is the numericals, that is based on the different method. So inside my last lecture already we have discussed up to a Newton-Raphson method. We have discussed about the static load flow equation, bus classification, Gauss-Seidel method, Newton-Raphson method. So all that topic, that is already we have covered inside my previous topic. So today I will go start with the new method, that is considered as a decoupled load flow method, that is also considered as DLF method. This method, which can be used for the load flow studies, and which can try to solve the problem that is based on the load flow analysis. The decoupled power flow method is a fast and efficient method of obtaining the power flow problem solution. The coupling between the active power and the bus voltage magnitude, that is given by V, is relatively weak. So therefore coupling between the reactive power Q and the bus voltage phase angle, that is also weak. So if we will go for the load flow studies, so mainly having a 4 types of parameter. First one, that is considered as a active power, that is denoted by P. Then second one, that is reactive power, that is denoted by Q. Third one, that is the voltage magnitude, that is denoted by V. And fourth one, that is the phase angle, that is denoted by delta, which is be a part of the load flow studies. So this weak coupling, that is used inside the development of decoupled load flow method, in which P is decoupled from V and Q is decoupled from delta. So already we have derived the equation inside the Newton-Raphson method, that is and that equation, that is written in terms of Jacobian matrix, that is written as matrix delta P delta Q, that is equal to H and JL delta. Then second parameter, that is the delta V by V, where the matrices N and J are small with respect to the H and L. So therefore we will try to remove that parameter, that is the N and J. H and JL, that is considered as a Jacobian matrix, that is already we have derived inside the NR method. So now we will get the new equation, that is become as delta P, that is equal to H into delta, and second equation that we will get delta Q, that is equal to L and into delta V divided by V. The solution of this equation is less time consuming, and the computer memory that is required for the decoupled load flow method, that is also less. So therefore we have already derived the equation for the Jacobian matrix, that is also written as L dash Ik, that is equal to Hik, is equal to Vi Vk Yik sin theta ik plus delta k minus delta I. Same way HII, that is written as minus QI minus BII VI square, and LI, that is also written as QI minus BII VI square. So therefore H and L matrices are updated in each iteration using this equation. So so we will say that in order to have the faster convergence, we will get the sum of the points that we will discuss over here. So first point that we will get from upper equation, that first one, that is perform each iteration by first computing the equation number 1, that is the we will say that delta p, that is equal to delta p is equal to h into delta delta. Second one, that use the updated value of delta in formation, and then after solve the second equation, that is given by delta q is equal to L del v by v, that is the use the updated value of delta in formation and then solving the second equation to get the value of delta v. Third point, that is the decoupled load flow method, that should be require less memory and which can be used for this storing the Jacobian matrix as compared to the Newton-Raphson method. So decoupled load flow method that can require the less memory as compared to the Newton-Raphson method. Then after, there is a one more point that we will get from the previous equation, that the time required per iteration of the decoupled load flow method is practically the same as that of the Newton-Raphson method. And last one, that in decoupled load flow method, there is a more number of iteration are required for the convergence because of the approximation made inside it. So this is regarding to the things that we will get from the decoupled load flow method. So for the better understanding of the all the method, that may be a GS method, Newton-Raphson method, then decoupled load flow method and fast decoupled load flow method, if we will go with the help of example, then we will get the better idea regarding to the all the methods. So now we will go for the next method, that is the fast decoupled load flow method. So the equation of power studies using Newton-Raphson method, that is already we have get it, that is written as del p and del q, that is equal to h and j l del delta, and second one, that is the delta v by v. We will say that a fast decoupled load flow method which can be used for the solving the problem that is based on the load flow analysis inside the power system, where inside that equation we will say that h and j and L are the elements of the Jacobian matrix, that is already we have derived inside the Newton-Raphson method. The first step in applying the decoupling principle is to try to remove the n and j, because these two elements are small. So we will get the equation of delta p, that is equal to h delta delta, and second equation that we will get delta q is equal to L del v by v. So the fast decoupled load flow method, that in that case we will take the some approximation that is given by the fast decoupled load flow method. In that case we will take the some approximation that is given by first one, that is cos delta I delta k, that is equal to 1. Second approximation that we will get sin delta I minus delta k, that is equal to 0. Third one, that is the gik sin delta ik, that is less than or many times less than, that is equal to bik. Then qi, that is less than bii vi square. Next one, that is the hik, that is equal to lik, that is equal to minus vi vk bik, where I is not equal to k. And last one, that is the lii, that is equal to hii, that is equal to minus bii vi square. So these are the some assumptions that we will take inside the fast decoupled load flow method. Then after we will get the equation for the delta p and delta q, that is written as first one, that is the delta p that is equal to vi vk b dash bik into del delta, and second one that we will get for the delta q, that is written as delta q, that is equal to vi vk b dash ik into del V divided by V, where B dash ik and B double dash ik are the elements of the minus Bik matrix. So for the further decoupling and simplification, we will get the sum of the points that we will discuss over here. So first one, that is try to remove the B double dash and the angle shifting effect of phase shifter. Second one, that is try to remove B dash and representation of those network element that affect the reactive power flow, that is shunt reactances and transformer of nominal in phase state. There is a one more step, that try to divide delta p and delta q by vi, and just put the value of vi by 1.0 in the equation. Then after we will get the new equation, that is given by delta p by v is equal to b dash delta delta, and second one, that is the delta q by v, that is equal to b double dash delta v. So from the above equation we can conclude that these two equation, in that case b dash and b double dash are the real, then sparse, and have the structure of H and L, that is already we have derived inside the previous equation. Since they can contain only admittances, they are constant and do not change during the corresponding iteration. There are to be calculated only once and inverted only once during the first iteration. There is some point that we will get from the fast decoupled load flow method, that this method is very fast and converges very reliable in 2 to 5 iteration. The accuracy is very good even for the large system. And last one, that is it is found that good approximation solution is obtained after the first or second iteration. So these are the some point that we will get for the fast decoupled load flow method after calculating this equation. Now we will go for the flow chart for the fast decoupled load flow method. So there is if having a flow chart, so from that also we will make the algorithm, and if we have the algorithm, then after we will easily make the flow chart. So we will start with the flow chart. So firstly we will start with the method, then read the load flow data and check if the initial voltage and voltage angle are set, and obtain the number of buses and form a Y bus. So based on the given data we will try to make a Y bus. Second one, that is the calculating matrices, that is the B and B double dash. Then after we will go for the set iteration count KQ, that is equal to 0. Set bus count KP is equal to 1. Then find PI K1 for I up is equal to 2 to n times. Find delta del pi raised to k1 for I greater than 2 3 up to n times. Then after try to find out the find maximum delta p raised to k1. Then find the maximum value of the delta p k1, and then after check the condition if the delta pk less than or equal to epsilon d. If the condition are true, then after it will check the set kp is equal to 0 m, and if the condition are wrong or false, then after it can go for the step number 2. So if the condition are false, then after we will follow that is in this way. So which is given by obtain the delta I, that is equal to minus b dash and inverse minus delta p. Find new values of the delta I for I is equal to 2 to n times. Then after we will go for the new value, that is k1 is equal to k1 plus 1, and that is considered as a PQ bus. So PQ bus, that is be a part that is considered as a load bus also. Find QI k2 for I is equal to m plus 1 up to n times. Then after go for the increment inside the reactive power, that is given by delta QI Q2 for I is equal to up to that is I is equal to m plus 1 to n times. So this is regarding to the things regarding if the condition are false. But if inside the previous condition, if the condition are true, so it will check kq is equal to 0. In that case again if the condition are true, then it is go for the find a line current without the charging the capacitor, and also find the line flows and the line losses and display the result, and in this way it can try to finishing the process. But if the condition are wrong, then again it can go to the in this way. It is applying to the find the qi k2 for I is equal to m plus 1 up to n times. Then after if the condition are also then after this it will apply it for the checking the condition is maximum delta q k2 that is less than or eq. If the condition are true, then it is given to the set kq that is equal to 0 over here, and again it can check the condition is kp is equal to 0, and if the condition are true, then it is given to the step number 3, that is already we have discussed, that is step number 3 over here, and in this way it can try to finishing the process. But if the condition are false over here, so it will go for the next step, that is find del vi for I is equal to m plus 1 up to n times. Find new values of vi for I is equal to m plus 1 up to n times, and new value of the k2 that is given by k2 plus 1, and again it can reach to the step number 1, which is applying over here. So this is regarding to the flow chart for the fast decoupled load flow method. Now we will go for the comparison of GS and NR method of load flow studies. So this is the comparison in between Gauss-Seidel method and the Newton-Raphson method. So we will start with the first point, that is the GS method works well when the program using rectangular coordinates. Now we will go for the Newton-Raphson method. The Newton-Raphson method require more memory when rectangular coordinates are used. Hence, polar coordinates are preferred. So this is the point regarding to the rectangular coordinates and the polar coordinates. So GS method that is more superior with the rectangular coordinates, whereas Newton-Raphson method which is more superior with the polar coordinates. Second one, that is in GS method time required to complete the iteration is less, whereas in the NR method time required to complete iteration is 7 times higher, because the elements of Jacobian matrix are to be computed for each iteration. So we will say that time required for each iteration that should be less inside the GS method, whereas time required per iteration that is higher inside the Newton-Raphson method. Third point, that is for large system GS method is not more accurate, whereas more accurate in large system. So if we will go for the large power system, so for that we will say that Newton-Raphson method that is one of the best method for the solution of the load flow problem inside the large system, whereas GS method which is superior only for the small system. Fourth one, that is a GS method is suitable for small system, whereas Newton-Raphson method is suitable for large system. Next one, that is GS method is suitable for small system, and the large computer memory is required inside the Newton-Raphson method. If we will go for the Gauss-Seidel method, which can require a small memory, whereas Newton-Raphson method which can require the large memory, because Jacobian matrix that should be a part of the Newton-Raphson method. So we will say that having a more memory that is required inside the Newton-Raphson method. Sixth one, that is the convergence of the GS method is sensitive to the choice of the slack bus, where Newton-Raphson method which is not affected. Convergence of the GS method is affected with the help of slack bus, whereas convergence of the Newton-Raphson method which is not affected with the help of slack bus. Next difference, that is slow rate of the convergence, whereas Newton-Raphson method having a convergence criteria that should be faster than the GS method. Eighth one, that is the GS method that is less reliable, wherever Newton-Raphson method that is the more reliable. Ninth one, that is the number of iteration for GS method increases directly as the number of buses of the network. In Newton-Raphson method, number of iteration will be remain practically constant. And last one, that is The solution technique is simple. Solution technique is simple if we will go through a Gauss-Seidel method, whereas solution technique that is difficult if we will go for the Newton-Raphson method, because if we will go for the Newton-Raphson method, in that case there is a one more parameter, that is the Jacobian matrix, that should be used, and we have to calculate the Jacobian matrix per individual iteration, so which can require the more time consuming and having a solution technique that is difficult. So this is the comparison in between GS method and the Newton-Raphson method. Now sometimes having a question that is try to compare all the method, that is like Newton-Raphson method, decouple method and fast decouple method. So now we will go for the new topics, that is the comparison of GS NR method of load flow studies, comparison of decoupled load flow method and fast decoupled load flow method with NR method. So what kind of point, there are some of the point that is for the discussion, and based on that we will say that what kind of role inside the Newton-Raphson method, decoupled method and fast decoupled method, that we will discuss over here. So first parameter, that is the memory requirement. So if we will go through a Newton-Raphson method, in that case we will say that memory requirement that is very high, whereas inside the decoupled method it can list, that is up to a 50% of Newton-Raphson method, and in the fast decoupled method having a less and 50 to 60% of Newton-Raphson method. Second parameter, that is the complexity of the method. So it is highly complex method. Already we have discussed inside the previous comparison, that is Newton-Raphson method having a complexity that is always higher, whereas inside the decoupled method it should be a less complex, and the fast decoupled method that is easier because of linearization of the matrix equation. Go for the step number difference number 3, that is computation time. So computation time that should be higher inside the Newton-Raphson method, whereas inside the decoupled method that is 50% of the Newton-Raphson method, and the fast decoupled method that is the 20% of Newton-Raphson method and the 150% of the GS method. Fourth one, that is the suitability. So Newton-Raphson method, that is any large size power system for the accurate calculation. Inside the previous different comparison, already we have discussed that Newton-Raphson method which can be used for the accurate calculation inside the large system. So that's why we will say that Newton-Raphson method that is suitable for the large power system. Same way decoupled method that is used for the large size power system, and fast decoupled method large size power system that is for the fast calculation and typically high ratio of X versus R, that is the reactance versus resistance. Comparison number 5, that is the uses of the method. So NR method that is less use, decoupled method that is also less, whereas fast decoupled method which is always in the uses condition. And last one, that is the sparsity of the Jacobian matrix. So NR method, in that case Jacobian sparsity of the Jacobian matrix that is less, whereas inside the decoupled method the sparsity of the Jacobian matrix that is higher than the Newton-Raphson method. And the fast decoupled method, in that case also we will say that sparsity of the Jacobian matrix that is more application. So this is regarding to the difference of comparison of decoupled load flow method and the fast decoupled load flow method with NR method. Sometimes having a question that is based on the give the comparison between Newton-Raphson method, GS method and the fast decoupled load flow method. So if we will know about the different types of point, that is already we have discussed over here. So if we will know about that point, and if we will know the theory regarding to the Newton-Raphson method, then GS method and fast decoupled load flow method, then we will easily write down the any difference that is asked inside the exam. So this is regarding to the comparison of the different types of method. So now we will go for the some of the question that is asked inside the GTU papers. So first one, that is the explain the different types of buses inside the power system, that is already we have discussed, which is asked inside the year of winter 2019 and having a 4 marks. Then after second one, that is the what is the static load flow analysis, write the equation of real and reactive power injected at ith bus in the general power system, that is already we have discussed. Then give comparison between GS method and Newton-Raphson method for the load flow solution, that is already we have finished in the today's lecture. Then when the generator bus is treated as a load bus, so when the reactive power limit is violated, so at that time we will say that generator bus is treated as a load bus, which is asked inside the year of summer 2019 and having a total of 3 marks. Then why bus admittance matrix is used in the Gauss Seidel instead of bus impedance matrix. Then explain the properties of the Y bus matrix. Then state the assumptions made for the load flow studies and application of the load flow studies. So these are the some of the question which is asked inside the GTU papers. There is a one more. There are some of the question over here. First one, that is explain the GS method with the help of flow chart. So that is already we have discussed inside the previous lecture. Then after, what are the advantages of the fast decoupled load flow method over Newton-Raphson method? So if we will know about the comparison in between the FDLF method and the NR method, then we will write that question, and this is asked inside the year of winter 2018 and having a 7 marks. Next one, that is the explain the need of load flow analysis. Then derive the static load flow equation, that is already we have discussed inside the previous lecture. And last one, that is the explain Jacobian matrix is related to the NR load flow method. Already we have derived the equation for the Jacobian matrix inside the Newton-Raphson method, and which will be asked inside the 7 marks. So these are the some of the equation which is asked inside the GTU papers and having a total of 7 marks. So this is regarding to the completion of theory portion of load flow studies, that is the chapter number 3. So now what are the point that we have discussed inside the chapter number 3? Again we will revise over here. First one, that is the introduction. Then what is the need of the load flow studies. Then static load flow equation. Then bus classification. We will say that having a total of 3 types of buses, PV buses, then PQ buses and slack buses. And all the 3 buses, that is differences based on the that 2 value. If we will go for the slack bus, so in that case we will say that value of the V and delta, that is specified, whereas value of active power and reactive power, that is we have to calculate it inside the slack bus. Then after, if we will go for the generator bus or the PV bus, so in that case value of P and V that is specified, whereas value of Q and delta, that is we have to calculate it. And last one, that is if we will go for the PQ bus, so in that case value of active power and reactive power, that is already specified, whereas we have to calculate the value of voltage and delta inside the load bus. So this is one of the most important question which is always asked inside the GTU papers. Then second one, that is the static load flow equation, that is always asked inside the GTU papers. Then next one, that is the approximate method. Then Gauss Seidel method. So every time having a question that is based on the explain the flow chart of the Gauss Seidel method, which is asked inside the GTU papers. Then after we have discussed, already we have discussed about the Newton-Raphson method, fast decoupled load flow method, and the comparison of different method. So very most important question, that is the comparison of different method. So this is having you can say GS method, Newton-Raphson method, decoupled load flow method, and fast decoupled load flow method. So this is most important question which is asked inside the GTU papers, and all the topics that is already we have covered inside my all previous lecture, as well as this is one my last video lecture for this chapter. So from the so this is regarding to the completion of theory portion of this chapter. So after completion of theory portion, now we will go for the example that is based on the Newton-Raphson method, then GS method. So from the next lecture we will go for the some example which will be asked inside the GTU papers. So we will try to solve this example and how it can be useful in the real power system. So that we will try to discuss inside the next lecture. Thank you.